Morning. Here we are. It's Wednesday night again, Wednesday at 7:30. Welcome to my Mary Lee Tretnero Boston Intuitives Facebook Live event, where tonight we're going to be talking about tips for the tarot. We have 2 weeks now that we're going to be talking about tarot tips, and then next week tarot spreads. And I hope to just give you just a brief introduction, with some things that I've learned along the way that I hope are helpful for you. So if you want to follow me, I am also on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook here, YouTube, and LinkedIn. And tonight, as you go along, hi Stessie. Nice to see you again. As we go along, if you like the show, please just hit the like button. It just gives me an idea how how everybody's taking this in. So Miho and Melody and Payal, hi, and Pam. Nice to see you guys tonight. So I don't know how many of you are wanting to read the tarot. I'm going to give you some just sort of like beginning information. So I'm a big advocate of reading for yourself. So even if you don't plan on reading for anybody else, I think it's a really good tool to get some insights into yourself, but it's also good to get insights into, different things that are going on in your life. It's really wonderful to pull cards for yourself every day. Hi, Rosa. Hi, Maria. And so we will go ahead and get started here. Before we do, I just wanted to go into the where the moon is right now. So today is the 17th of February, and the full moon is going to be not this Saturday, but the next Saturday. So next Saturday, that is when you would have like a completion, or maybe you're fine-tuning some goal that you have. If you want to use the moon energy, hi Betsy. If you want to use the moon energy, I'm just going to keep, giving you the dates. And you can print out a little calendar like this. You just do a Google search and do the, where the moon is. There's a bunch of different kind of calendars. All right. So here we are. Oh, in the chat box, I thought tonight we would use it for any question you want to ask me about the tarot. So it doesn't have to. It has to be about the tarot, but it can be anything. It doesn't have to be, any specific topic, but except for tarot. So, and just for people who might be new, hi Lauren, I use, the way I do this is I do a topic in the beginning, and then I follow it with mini readings in the second half. And so if you want the mini reading portion of it, just know, don't put any questions about the reading, the mini reading in the first half. In this first half, I always use it, for something else. So if you put your question in there, you're just going to have to ask me again. Miho says she got her tarot deck, so that's great. And I'm sure, Miho, that you're going to find some of this stuff tonight really helpful. Alrighty, and okay. So we're going to do some experiential stuff. So I do have my tarot cards out here. So don't think that I'm just going to be like lecturing you. We are going to actually work with the tarot cards. I have this thing that I think is just going to really kind of blow it open for you to really enjoy the whole practice and learning process. I don't know about you, but I'm never very good at learning something new. It's because I already want to know it, and so I get so frustrated because I just don't have any patience for learning, and I want to know it already. But I can give you this way of learning the tarot that I think will keep your interest, make it fun for you. So first, I would recommend that you either in the beginning start with the tarot, the Rider-Waite deck, and this is it's the most popular deck, tarot deck today. There's a lot of different versions of it, and then people who are psychic, they might enlist an artist. They might do their own artwork and create their own deck. I think that's absolutely fabulous when somebody does that, and it is really interesting to see, what the different cards, what people come up with. But just to get started here, for basics, I'm going to say start here. Okay, so we have Brad and Lauren and Michaela and Jennifer and Chelsea. How do you like to? Okay, so Chelsea, I have said that the reading comes in the second half. So the first half is going to be, you're going to have to sit through this. So back to the tarot. So I would suggest this tarot deck or whatever else you're really drawn to, because you probably are going to just work with one deck in the beginning, and you'll put a lot of time in, and I want you to really fall in love with your deck. So now I have a bunch of decks, all actually the Rider-Waite deck. I have this huge one here. This is fun to play with. But then I have a tiny one. Same thing. This is the Rider-Waite deck. And this size is great to carry like in your purse, so that you can always, if you have a few minutes and you want to pull a few cards, you got your tarot cards with you. I'm not. I think I got these probably at a metaphysical store. I have a couple of these tiny decks. Believe it or not, there's a one that's even smaller than that. It's about this small, and you can put it on a keychain. So I have the large, the small. This deck here, I've probably had this for close to 25 or 30 years. And on this deck, let's see, I'll put it up there. You can see that I have written the meaning on the cards. So this was in the beginning days, when I was first learning the tarot. And, you want to do these little tricks to kind of help yourself as you go along. But, I wouldn't say do this with every deck, but if you're serious about learning the tarot, this is a good way to do it. So, again, here we go. I've just written, like the meanings on the cards. What does that say? Writer, lawyer, protects and defends. Policeman, lawyer, doctor. Okay. Now, this is the deck. This is also one Rider-Waite deck. This is the one I use all the time. And you'll see the Rider-Waite deck is in the middle. Whoops, in the middle here. And then it has this fancy border. And every card is a different border. And so I get information by staring at this part of the card as well. So this has sort of like a dual, two different ways that I get information. Whoops. I get it, from the traditional Rider-Waite portion, or I get it from, like my eye there's something about the border that, catches my eye. which is also a good thing for you to know that when you're reading cards, if something catches your eye on the card, it might be it might be his socks. It might be the fact that there's this carnival tent in the back there. It could be the outfit he's got on. So it could be the yellow, that's in the background. But if there's something that's really, striking your eye, that might be some psychic information. So, okay, so we've talked about those couple of things. So we've talked about the deck. The other thing, these are just before you get started or, get too far into it. Have a nice little pouch or something that you can carry your cards in. Something that you can feel good about. Now, I know that I had a pouch, actually, I've had this pouch for a very long time, and I usually put a crystal in there and the deck. And so this is nice velvet, and this can also fit in a purse. But so I would recommend finding a nice either pouch or a scarf. But this is also a nice leather pouch that I had that I used to just carry it, carry it over my shoulder, and again, had my cards with me. That carries a crystal. And then here's this particular scarf, I might wrap up cards in this. So you want to treat your cards with a lot of respect and honor and, have some ritual. I personally don't have a problem if other people are touching the deck. In fact, I encourage it if I have somebody in person. I always enjoy, having them pull the cards themselves. Some psychics don't like that. They want only their energy in the cards. What you'll find as you go along is that you will develop your own style. You will have your own ceremonies, your own rituals, and so don't try to mimic anybody else's. As you go along, what I did is I studied a lot of different people. I'd get readings with different people, and I'd say, okay, I like that portion of what they do, and I like that portion of what they do. So, and that's how I developed my style. And I didn't, this is funny, because I never intended to be a psychic. And I had a very traditional job. But I never stopped, and I got this from my mom, I never stopped going to see psychics. And I called it, I had a name for it, I was taking my survey. That's exactly what I called it. And in my own mind, I was developing that, okay, this piece of that and this, and did I think that person was credible, and but you will come up with your own style. Another thing I wanted to, another good tip to tell you is, accuracy is something that people are very concerned about. How accurate you are as a reader. And in order to be accurate, you have to be grounded in your body. So if you are feeling really scattered, if you try to do it on the fly, pull some cards on the fly, just know it's better take some deep breaths and don't de-stress yourself. Get calm on the inside, and that's where you should be reading from. Deep breathing, release the stress, and then start pulling cards. And I'm going to take just a quick break to just scroll through and see if there's some things here that I need to. If you're looking at star cards, can I see it? Okay, Brad is being naughty. Chelsea Gibbons, I'm not doing the readings yet. Hi, Anne. Hi, Anne. Also, not doing readings yet, second half. So in the second half, you can ask me questions. In this part, any question about the tarot cards is what I'm doing right now. I have the right to wait and find it overwhelming. Okay, so overwhelming, I can completely understand that because there's a lot of different things to pay attention to. And I even I find myself being a little revved up right now as I'm talking about it. And I can imagine, I think of swords, I think of the there's numerology, there's astrology, and there's just letting go and what is the psychic telling you. So I understand the overwhelm, and I would say that it's good to just take it slowly. And I would start off, I'm going to show you this, one card at a time, and then 2 cards, then 3 cards. So even though all the things I'm saying, those are the things I've learned along the way, and I don't mean to make this overwhelming for you. I was just hoping to give you some tips. So Lauren, what I've done over time is, if I would organize, the things that I needed to learn. Like if I needed to learn the different suits, one week I would do the swords, and the next week I would do pentacles, the next week cups, the next week the sticks, and then I would go back and repeat that. If I'm learning the court cards, that's kind of like a whole thing all by itself to learn, like the page, queen, king, jacks, king, queen, knights, sorry. That's a whole thing by itself to learn. Again, I would say I'd take all the knights, take all the queens, or I might take all the swords 1 week of the court cards, all the cups of the court cards, and just break it down that way. And that way, it's kind of like studying for a test. You just break it down into chunks. Okay, Stessie likes the tip. Rhonda is saying good evening. And Stessie, how do you determine the crystal to put with the cards? Right now, I don't have a particular crystal that I use with the cards. I can refer you to Colette Baron Reed does that. And she has a big crystal that she puts on, I think, for days of the week or each sign. So I don't do that. The only thing that I do is sometimes I'll use a quartz crystal to amplify, the information. So let me just see real quickly here. Just before we get started, because this seems to happen every week, there are psychics that kind of troll. And so if you get any messages from a different psychic that says, use them for a reading, just ignore it, delete that. And last time I said that, when they got on here while I was actually doing this program, they stopped. So just delete it, ignore it. They're not going to harm you in any way. They're just being annoying, and they shouldn't be doing it. But there's no way I can stop it. Okay, so I'm kind of up to date here. Now, the thing that is really good for not only your tarot, but also just psychic work in general, it's your imagination and storytelling. And the better you get at both those things, letting your imagination take you on a journey, being able to just take a couple of cards and okay, so now we have, okay, so, being able to tell a story, lighthearted, story is a really great way to do the tarot. So, for instance, let's see. I talked about your style. Also, signs and symbols, Lauren, that'll come to you later on. We'll do something with that. One last thing before I go into imagination and storytelling a little further is that free will versus predestined. When you are reading somebody's cards, what you're reading is if everything stays the same, there's no difference, there's no changes, they don't change their mind, or somebody doesn't come in and make a decision that alters somebody's, I guess their decision making, or, but the future is not fixed. The future is created by every decision that you make. So I might be reading somebody's cards, and so what I'm reading is what the future looks like as of today. Tomorrow, they may, let's say they have another psychic read their cards, and as a result of that other psychic, they change their mind, or they decide they're going to not listen to me, to do something else, listen to that. So they've changed their future. And so all of a sudden, what I've predicted is not the course of action any further. So there's always free will. And so if any psychic tells you that 100% they can predict the future, don't believe them, because that is not true. Unless you're God, you cannot predict, ultimately what the future is. We just do the best that we can. And there are some really, really good psychics out there. So there's some really good predicting going on, but there isn't anything that's 100% all the time. Okay, so here we go with, I want to show you, and I hope this works. I'm going to show, I can use other cards, just a second. Miho says, can I use others' cards to read? Also, can others use my cards or not share them? So that is something that I would say is personal preference. I personally have no problem with somebody touching my cards, but there are some psychics who do not do that. They just see the energy of their deck is something only they work with. So it's, Miho, it's kind of up to you, like what you want to do. And yeah, I don't have any trouble letting people use my cards or touch my cards. So there is sort of an ancient, there's a lot of old-fashioned sort of rules about not letting somebody touch your cards, but it's kind of like, your first tarot deck. Somebody's supposed to give you your first tarot deck. Well, that doesn't always happen. You don't want to wait around for somebody to give you a tarot deck. And I suppose you could always ask them if nobody's volunteering to give you a tarot deck. You don't want to not read because somebody else didn't give you a tarot deck. So, so again, personal preference. So here we go. I am going to, let me push this back a little bit. What I wanted to do is I wanted to show you some cards here. So here, now I was talking about imagination and storytelling. And so the first thing that I would advise if you are new to tarot is to get to know the individual cards. And so this card here, it means not trusting. It also means a thief, theft. It can also be infidelity. And yeah, basically those are the meanings for this card. Here you have this yellow background. That's very startling. to me, yellow is always like creativity. But we also have, here's the number. So this is the 7th card, 7 swords. So in terms of imagination and storytelling, you can make up a story about this. Now this is just with your practicing. You can make up a story about this card and, and pay attention to the details. So here we have, the carnival tent in the background. Here we have him with the, let's say there's two swords that are standing behind him. He's carrying 5 of the swords. It looks like he's kind of sneaking away. So you could create a whole story, just on this one card. And that is the thing that will help you get to know, what the cards are. Now, every deck that you get usually, or does, have these little instruction books. This instruction book is equal to this book. So this is called Rider-Waite Tarot, but this is the pictorial key to the tarot. This is by Arthur Edward Waite. He's the one that designed the deck. But this little book contains everything that you need to know. So you will get one of these with every deck. I have a, whoops, I have a bunch of decks, and I have some of them I've taken the cards out. This is for the Hanson Roberts and Morgan Greer. This is for my Diamond Tarot. And not only do they tell you what each card is, but they tell you like a little bit of a history of that particular deck. It might talk about the tarot cards, but it also might give you spreads that you can use, like the how to lay out the cards. So don't neglect, the little book that comes. And if you don't have, like one of, these kinds of books, which is, basic tarot, there you go. You got it right here. So again, fits in the purse, nice. You can, it's easy to check these little ones also. So don't throw those away. Okay, so here we have, the 7 of Swords, not trusting. Now the next thing, in terms of storytelling and imagination, this is called a card combination when you have 2 cards. So now, instead of 1, we have 2 cards. So we have, this is the 5 of Swords, and this is the 7 of Swords. So what I would suggest is that, again, first learn, you don't have to memorize them, but get familiar with your cards. Tell yourself a story about this one card. Now tell a story about these 2 cards. So this is defeat, and then this is not trusting or walking away, infidelity, ripping somebody off. So let's say, so we have defeat and not trusting, or defeat by, this is theft. So these clouds right here, they actually represent, there's not, all information isn't known. And we can see these 2 people are sort of like walking away. They're not facing us, so we don't know what they're actually thinking. It's sort of designed that way, that we're not seeing the face. But we can see this person looks, like they're devastated, just by the way they hold their body. And then the sword is laid down. So you're just telling yourself, you're looking at all the details and making up a story about that. So then You flip it and make a story about this. So now you have the not trusting ripoff card and then the defeat. So your story would be a different story. But this gives you some practice using your imagination. And that's what doing readings are. You know, it's taking these cards and allowing your mind to trust the information that you're getting. Just using the cards, that you trust the information that you get. But you don't want to be rigid. You want to be really fluid. You want to be really relaxed. So I would recommend that you do with all the cards. You know, and this is what I was saying about really enjoying learning the tarot. You know that you're going to take the evening out and you're going to play with the cards, or you're going to, take an hour or so out and play with the cards. Maybe have a drink of wine but you just start telling stories. And when you do that, not only do you learn the cards, but you do start trusting yourself. You know, that when you look at the cards, that it does have meaning to you. And you sort of just get a flavor of every time you see this card, it means this, or it usually has 2 or 3 different meanings. But, I'm showing you these large cards, but I'll put this down again. Let's see. So now stay with the 1. Don't overwhelm yourself. And when you feel ready, add the 2, then switch them around, do that, then go like that. Okay, now tell a story like this, tell a story like that. I would not move on from that until you felt pretty comfortable being a storyteller. And I really mean use your imagination and make things up. Because it's like you're plowing a field or something, like you're making it like fertile soil for your a psychic ability. You're not putting restrictions on it. So, and what will fall away at a certain point is that you're just making things up that has nothing to do with psychic ability. Often people will say that, this isn't psychic. I'm just making this up. I mean, even the most experienced psychics think that, sometimes they're just making things up. But that's, it's very, being able to trust what you get is, that's what you're doing. You're developing that muscle. So, and when you feel like you've gotten 2, then you can add a 3rd. Now, when I'm reading cards now, I always have 3, I do this is called card combinations. And so I'll read these 3 cards, and then, I'll have 3 more. But I wouldn't attempt this until you get comfortable with first 1 card at a time, then 2 cards at a time, and just play. So I think that's and we're about halfway through. So now I am ready to start doing some mini readings. Let me just go back and check and see if anybody has some. Oh my gosh. Hi, Robin. I have a monitor for this group so people can be thrown for indecency. This is actually the first time I've had, people on here that have been, not nice people. So, oops. Okay. So, Robin, maybe if this, gets bigger, I might do that. Okay, so you're welcome. Maria would love a reading and insight into. Okay, I haven't. I'm just getting ready to open things up. What is my? Well, oh, actually, looks like you guys are all ready. So I'm going to go back to that first one because you're ahead of me. You guys are always fast. So Miho and then Robin, monitor. Miho, thank you. Okay, you're welcome. Right, or a private group. True. I'm considering a bunch of, a couple of different things. I just like that it's going as well as it's going right now. And I am, Robin says, I'm glad. Joy is protecting me. She does. She's actually, she's quite, she has a bark. Okay, so Maria. So now we will start with the readings. And I'm going to use this deck that I told you. This is the Diamond Tarot. They actually don't make this one anymore. So this will be, I do these 2-minute readings. And so I try to do as many readings as I can to get as many people in. So Maria says, would love a reading and insight into current love potential with the guy I recently met and how to proceed. Okay, so let's see what we get here. Well, I'm going to say this man is not very open-minded, Maria. It says you're being patient. And I think this is actually, it's going to take a lot out of you. And so I'm just going to say for you, keep a handle on what you want to see versus what's actually there in this fellow. Okay, so you have to take yourself on. Yeah, I feel like right now, maybe, you might be in the beginning stages and really fond of him and everything. So I'll just say, just keep your eyes open. And, when we are, let's say, smitten by someone, we want what we want. We want to see what we want to see. So just be aware of that. And that's what I get. Okay, so Stacey, I'll just let you know that one of my favorite bosses in the world, his last name was Flowers. All right. So let's see. Joy wants to lick my hands. All right, okay. She's competing with the cards. All right. Well, so here it says that you're starting to look at partnerships. And I feel like you're in for this whole new way of connecting with men. In the past, it's showing kind of like loss, feeling loss, maybe some depression. But it's like there's a whole new mindset, and this is a victory as well. But this is mental, new beginnings with the mind. Now, it does show you worrying a lot. And I want to say, Stacey, I feel like your creative side is really emerging. But this is saying that you worry. This is the next thing that happens. So I want to say you need to have some way of transforming that This is either nervousness or worry. It can also be guilt. So I'm going to say don't let you and your self-talk get the better of you. And also, I don't know if you have a perfectionistic streak, but this is the outcome here. This is competitive. So you like to be competitive. And I feel a new man coming in. So if he isn't there already, I just feel like this is a new man, or it can be new things going on with the current fellow in your life. But this is the overview card. So we have partnership as being really important, and then we have the overview is this gentleman. So I want to say, Stacey, you got to be okay with yourself. So that's what I get for you. Okay, so then we have Lauren. Well, I get the job I applied for. She's looking at the table. I'm trying to think, did I feed her dinner? Maybe I didn't. All right. I think we had Indian food tonight. Okay. So, well, I get the job that I applied for. Well, I want to say you're going in a new direction. Now, this is a good card. Normally that would mean a yes. And that would be a yes. This card does not mean death, it means like transformation. So the outcome for you is this transformation. And the Sun card, success. Success is the overview. So it says that you're thinking about a hurt or you're thinking about a disappointment. And I want to say you're kind of the architect of your own soul here. This is building up your strength, building up your courage. So faith in you. Are you going to get the job that you applied for? Okay, I'm not sure that you're going to get the job, but I don't know if that's a problem. The thing is, I feel like you're going in a new direction. So I'm going to say, don't be upset, Lauren, whatever happens, because I think I feel like you're on your way. You've got like a new beginning here. And I feel like, you're asking this. You may not have heard what you wanted to hear. You may not get the outcome that you wanted. But I still think things are coming together for you. So I think you're in a good spot. All right. So hi, Rob, again. I love this lady. Karen just says hi. And okay, hi, Karen. You didn't ask me a question, so I'm just going to give that to you. I'm not going to read unless I hear from you, which you do say something two spots down. Okay, so Pale, any messages from my guides? So you guys don't forget to hit the like button if you like what you were hearing tonight. And again, my name's Mary Lee Tretnero. I'm also known as Boston Intuitive. I've been reading for about 30 years now, and I'm in the local Boston area. I'm a psychic medium, psychic, and also I do pet readings. All right. So we have Payal asking any messages from her guides. So your cards are filled with people, a lot of court cards. So you've got 3 men and a woman in your cards. And then in the outcome, this is a very lovely outcome. You've got dream come true, star card, and then you have, that's like a culmination. You know, it's like everything coming together, closing a chapter, opening up a new chapter. This world card is the, it's like that's an ending. And then we start all over with the Fool card, which is, you know, the whole new beginning, the soul being on a new journey. Okay. You know, I just get the sense of moving with you. And moving up, moving. The way I hear it, Payal, is you're getting ready to move. So I'll just leave it that with you. I get you're doing your work and then some. Okay, so now I'm going to do Karen. All right, so let's see what we get here for Karen. I feel this is kind of a muted night for some reason. All right, Karen, so you have a lot of personal growth cards. So these cards, the ones with the sticks in it, those are personal development, personal growth. You've got, of the 7 cards I pulled for you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those are personal development and 2 are financial. So it says you're a really hard worker. And it's also showing partnership here for you, working in partnership. You have good news coming in with your work, like a whole new, again, this is a whole new beginning, self-development. And also I feel like you hearing some news and things may start happening in sort of a speeded up fashion, like fast forward. I also feel like the direction you're heading in is not what you're expecting. So I am going to say to you, expect the unexpected. And you know how they talk about men going into their cave? I feel like you're going into your cave. You're going to do a little bit of self-reflection, pondering and self-reflection. And the last thing I'll tell you is, don't worry, you are really interesting. So I don't know if that's something that you worry about, Karen, but I'm supposed to tell you, don't worry, you're very interesting. So, okay. So now we're going to do Robin. I'll do it. So I'll do a little bit of mini reading for you. Wow, okay. So, this is success. This is sort of like the, what is it? This is kind of like the bottom line for your reading is success. Self-mastery has been going on for a while. It's showing you have more than one option. You know, it's almost like you're at a crossroads. You could go in either direction. But it does show transformation right now, total complete change. It says you either are going to be a student again, or you're getting ready to spend a lot of money. Now, interesting, the overview card is the Gemini woman. And look at, she's got that over the top of her head. She's got the, I think that's actually a bird that's flying. Okay, so I'm going to say this lady is getting information herself. And I think this is talking about enlightenment. So you're in a good situation. This is also very good. This is like healing. It's also, it's kind of orthodoxy, but it's spirituality. It's, okay. I want to say this is you taking on your spiritual life. You know, what is your what's the practice? What's what does spirituality mean for you? So I'm going to give that to you, Robin. Now the next person I have on here is Lynn. So I hope that let's just make sure. Yeah, unfortunately this is so car ones, we have Lynn. And please do let me know if you can relate to what I'm talking about. Okay, Lynn. Okay, first thing I want to say is there's a lot more going on than what you think. This is the history. So it says in the past you felt defeated. Even now you're kind of feeling heartbroken. That's this card. So so I want to say taking on your emotional life and stabilizing yourself emotionally. And I feel like you've really been through the ringer. So now I feel strongly about self-care right now. So now would be the time to make that decision. You have to take care of you. And I feel like there's something that's going on right now, and it's not your doing. It's like you didn't create it. So not to take it on as yours. So I'm going to say just you take care of you. That should be like a singular focus. Okay, Rhonda. Will my husband and I move out of state soon? Let's see what we get here. All right. Yeah, he's trying to lick the cards again. Okay. Whoops. I guess this is what happens when I don't play with joy enough. All right, let's see. So Betsy, you're next in case you happen to go off my screen. Rhonda wants to know if, well, this would say yes. You know, you can see this looks like a victory card. This is encouragement. This is a planning card. The outcome, this is 7 of Pentacles. So this is planning. Also says you need rest. This has been, you want to say you're exhausted. This has been a lot of work. There's some kind of paperwork that's not complete, so I feel like that still has to be completed. But I do get a yes for you. So that was me being long-winded, but I do feel like you're going to be moving out of state. All right, Betsy, pull a card for me, please. Love and health. Okay, so good news. Okay. You know what? I'm getting this image of you, Betsy, like with a, like a lasso, a rope, and I just feel like I'm lassoing the thing that I really want out of life. I feel like I'm starting to figure that out, and uh, this is searching, like do a soul search. It says you've been doing a lot of soul searching. Um, and also, this is being very genuine, but also generous, thinking of others. Uh, I'm going to say there's a feeling of a little bit of hopelessness here. Uh, and I do feel like you're self-aware, but I also feel that you're not listening to yourself. So the thing that I would emphasize here is the listening to yourself. Really, really take that on as a focus. You listening to you. What is it you're really saying to you? All right. So we do have one of those crazy psychic people bothering you, so please just delete it. Pam McCreary, I'm on you now. If I miss you, I just have to tell you that the chat box is, because this crazy psychic is in there, it kind of screws up the chat box for me. So this is for Pam McCreary. 5, 7. Whoops. Oh, message. I'm drawn. Oh, Betsy. Queen. So this is this crazy psychic person, and I know Betsy really well. So it says Betsy Van Oz. In it, I'm drawn to you, my beloved, with hearts. For reading and guidance, send a request or inbox me. You are blessed. Queen Hola Mardahe Gold. It's Queen. Yeah. So just delete it, please. I'm sorry. I apologize for any nuisance or. All right. So this. Okay. I don't know why, but this is saying that this is a feeling of defeat. Might be how you feel about things right now. There's a total, complete change. It's showing more socializing is going to be coming. And then it shows you starting to do some future planning. Also, don't hesitate to spend some money. I feel like it's a big chunk, and not to worry about it. Just go ahead and okay. Then I feel like you have to defend something that you did recently. I don't think it's a bad thing. It's just that you have to defend. There's something that you need to defend. All right. So that's for you. And let me go on to the next one. Here they come. Yeah. You guys, I am at my end point here, but if I can find, yeah, I am so sorry. This person is really being annoying here. Okay. Well, guys, yeah. What he's done is he's like taken over the messaging, so I can't read your requests. Well, so this is the first time this has happened. And I will see what I can do about this. Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, now I'm on a mission. I'll have to figure this out. If you have any suggestions, you can message me. Use the Facebook message, messenger, and yeah. Unfortunately, I can't read any more of your messages, so I am just going to have to leave it there. But I hope you learned some things with the tarot tonight. And I look forward to working with you next week. We're going to do tarot spreads. Then I think I'm going to do some spirit communications. Some more, like what I'm doing with tarot. So tips. Alrighty. Have a good week and take care of yourselves. And I will see you next week. Good night.